Department Oversight Board, today is a very historic day. Last week, the Giants signed South Korean outfielder Jung-Hoo Lee. Today, San Francisco City Hall signs a Cal football and track and field star from the South Bay. I am joined by two of my colleagues from the Sheriff's Department Oversight Board, Vice President Sochi Carrion and member Dion J. Bruchter, to officially announce, I know there were rumors out there, but we are now officially announcing the appointment of our inaugural Inspector General, Mr. Terry Wiley. So after nearly a year-long national search, Terry was the best fit. He has had a distinguished legal career in Alameda County, spanning 3 decades. He is experienced with the criminal justice system, and he has a celebrated history of working on reforms. His public service working with diverse communities is impressive. Before I have Vice President Carrion speak to the recruitment process, some acknowledgments of appreciation are in order. Thank you to Sheriff Paul Miyamoto and Chief Richard Jew for coordinating the training for our board as mandated under the San Francisco Charter. Thank you to the Department of Human Resources for their guidance, Ben Ritchie, Paul Green, Sean Sherburne, and Director Carol Eisen. Thank you to the Department of Police Accountability for infrastructure and budget analysis, support from Director Paul Henderson, Chief Marshal Kine, Operations Officer Nicole Armstrong, and notably, our legal assistant and our acting secretary, Dan Lerong. Especially today, thank you to City Hall facilities, Rohan Lane and Sequoia Condon, and staff at SFGovTV. And now to the recruiting process with Vice President Carrion.
Buenos días a todos. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. It's so exciting. It was a long journey to get here, and we're excited to be able to share with all of you what our recruitment process was. Now, we did a lot of work in a year and 3 months, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some highlights of some of the things that happened to get us to this point. Now, we had 3 regular meetings in 2022 and 10 regular meetings in 2023. Now, we also went out into the community, into 4 different places to hear the words of our people, to hear San Franciscans tell us what they wanted in the qualifications, what were the issues that they felt were important to them and they wanted to see in our Inspector General. Those were in 4 different locations: the Bayview Opera House, Hamilton Recreation Center, Crocker Amazon Clubhouse, and Mission Arts Center. In addition, in September of this year, 2 commissioners went to the jails and talked to currently incarcerated people to find out what were the jail conditions that they wanted our IG to address, and more importantly, what are the qualifications that they think should be part of an IG. Now, we got a lot of support. This has been a San Francisco project, but it's also been a local, state, and national project because we had key leaders from all over talking to us about the best practices for hiring and recruiting an IG. For example, we had folks from Los Angeles County, from BART, from Madison, Wisconsin, from Berkeley, from Oakland, and from the LA Sheriff's and BART's independent police auditor and previous Berkeley Police Commissioner. They all gave us the information to make such a critical decision. Now, there's a couple key motions. One, which was mine, was to create a task force to work specifically with the Department of Human Resources, and to create a job draft description. So we met, that task force met that same month in January. The minute we got going, the minute we started working. The following month, it was very exciting to be able to have our amazing president at that time, Commissioner Sue, be elected to be and be voted on to be the liaison for the Department of Human Resources while they entertain and take care of this incredible project. Thank you to President Sue for her tireless work, the multiple hours that she's put into that. I know that she is very humble about that, but I want to make sure that she gets the accolades that she deserves as she gives acknowledgments to all of those that helped us. So really, October and November was the grind for us. It was looking at all these amazing applicants that came nationally and then determining who were the highly qualified, who were the best of the best. And we are lucky that Terry Wiley was in that. It is an absolute honor to be here. It took a lot of work from a lot of people to get to this moment, and we're here to celebrate in community and to continue learning from you and doing the work that needs to get done. I look forward to continue serving you as the Vice President, and we look forward to having you participate. So community, come to us, email us, public comment, all of those things. We want to hear your voice. We want to incorporate your voice in the decisions we make. So thank you all so much for being here, and have a wonderful rest of the event.
Thank you. And I just want to recognize Izzy Ramsey here, our U.S. Attorney from the Northern District of California, who's here with us today. We also have some well wishes from our public defender, Mana Raju, who's traveled out of the country, our district attorney, Brooke Jenkins. I can't tell you, Terry, you are famous because I was getting text messages till 10, 11 at night. Give Terry my best wishes. I can't be there, but in spirit, Susan Miranishi, County Administrator for Alameda County. And I just also need to let you know, in San Francisco City Hall, we are generally very collaborative. I was walking to our city clerk, our county clerk, Diane Ray's office, but I ran into our city administrator, and as you know, we're a city and county unto ourselves, so we just say City Administrator Carmen Chu. She asked me where I was going, and I had not yet met Diane yet, and she's like, let me walk you there. Let me just call her to make sure. If you're going to do this for Terry Wiley, let me. So Carmen Chu also sends her best. And to give an official welcome to City Hall, we will have Paul Miyamoto and Paul Henderson. So first up, Sheriff Paul Miyamoto.
Thank you, President Sue. Good morning, everyone. If we could have a turnout like this at our board meetings, then I'll be very happy if that's what you accomplish, Terry. No, want to acknowledge everybody's presence here. Thank you for all being here. It is important to continue that sort of engagement, and our office actually very much looks forward in working hand in hand with our new Inspector General. One thing that's very important to understand is that this supports our shared goals, our shared vision, not just with the Sheriff's Office, not just with the Oversight Board, not just with your mission as the Inspector General, but with the community at large. Transparency, accountability, continuous improvement, those are the goals that we hope to achieve and reach and continue to reach to. And with your 33 years of experience in Alameda County at the District Attorney's Office, that represents an immense amount of experience and knowledge, which we are very confident will represent fair, impartial approaches to independent investigations, fair and impartial approaches to who we are and what we are capable of becoming in the time and years to come, with no agendas other than the public's interest, public safety, and the best that we can do for the community. The collaboration is actually going to present us as an agency with an extra set of eyes that is very much needed. It's not just acknowledging the work and the achievements and the good work of our personnel and our members, the everyday things that happen in our department, the everyday things that we do, but it's a look at those things and how we can improve on those things. We want to always be at the highest level of standards for not just law enforcement, for not just public safety, but also for the community. And we are looking forward to having you make sure that we meet those standards. You're going to play a crucial role in helping us all identify and address areas of concern to the community. Most importantly, investigations of allegations, not just of our staff or contractors or members, but those independent investigations are important to make sure the community knows that we are dedicated to. And I want to acknowledge right now The next speaker who is coming up, Executive Director Paul Henderson from the Department of Police Accountability, who has been a partner with us for a number of years to address these very concerns, absent the presence of an Inspector General, and the work that we have done through the years to ensure that we have that viewpoint and to ensure that we have that independent investigation into all of these different things has been an important part of what he's done. And we've had challenges in terms of getting the support to make sure that he has the resources available. I want to acknowledge the work that you've done for us. And as we transition now into this, not to forget everything that you've done. So thank you very much, Director Henderson, to you and your staff. I think one thing that's important too, and I want to make sure I address before we move on, is that working closely with the Oversight Board through you is going to help us bridge a lot of gaps that we've seen since we've created and we've worked with the Oversight Board. It's going to be invaluable in addressing areas of concern for us in ways that we can improve how we do our job. And we want to identify those issues before they escalate, before they become an incident, before they become a problem or a concern or a lawsuit or anything else. And so I'm looking forward to working with you, to working with the board, and continuing to improve our processes in getting that viewpoint and making sure that we have a positive, progressive step towards building trust to our community, to our public, to the city and county, which is very unique here. And while you have the experience in Alameda, I look forward to many new experiences for you here in San Francisco. And your engagement with our community is something that we're all going to support in regards to making sure we're transparent and we continue our mission in the Sheriff's Office in partnership and collaboration with the Oversight Board and the Office of Inspector General. So thank you.
Before I bring Director Paul Henderson up, I just want to say what a phenomenal job he and his entire staff do. I've been to the NACOL conference. My first time was last year, the National Association of Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement. Now, while many of the oversight organizations have lagged behind, missed statutory dates, Paul's team, the investigators, the attorneys, have not missed a beat, and they are a national model. So that is really impressive. Independent third parties have lauded our department's work, our Police Department of Accountability, and that's something to be said for a very lean and mean office. And I can't thank him enough for helping to set up the infrastructure so that our new Inspector General actually had something to walk into, not just an empty office. And he's offered his unwavering support. So thank you, Mr. Paul Henderson.
Wow, people have said so many nice things already. It's amazing how nicely people talk about you when they're not under oath. So I appreciate all of that. They told me I only have 40 minutes, so I want to get... Honestly, let me just start off by thanking the commission, Julie in particular, for so much work that she's done in navigating those of you that have watched these commissions and those of you that have paid attention to the machinations that we've all gone through as a city. The leadership that she has shown in this process has been phenomenal, and getting us here to this day where we can finally celebrate new leadership coming into San Francisco. And I personally thank you for bringing us an extra body now, because these past few years wearing double hats has been complicated and arduous. I've had two commissions, and so this is great. I do want to thank you in particular, Julie, but also the rest of the board that worked so hard back and forth, both to develop and execute a process to choose the leadership that we have here today. I do think that it's worth noting that here in San Francisco, we are taking a big step forward in civilian oversight. We are committing to reforms and accountability where other counties, other cities, other states, other movements are taking steps back from the commitments that they've made to independence and civilian oversight for law enforcement. And that's not the case here in San Francisco. From the very beginning of the legislation, we had the sheriff stepping up saying, I wanted this to be collaborative. And just so we're clear, that collaboration started before we even had the legislation codifying where we are today. And so this culmination is a very big step, both of affirming leadership for Terry, whom we all know and have seen his work for many, many years. We won't say the numbers, but for many, 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 many years, because we started off around the same time, but his is way older than me, way. Is like 4 years older. So it's nice to have that level of experience coming to the table to join the work. But I do think that this is important. And it says a lot about who San Francisco is, and it says a lot about where San Francisco is heading. I also just want to acknowledge the Shaman Walton for putting together the legislation that created a lot of this position, and more importantly, the funding allocation for this kind of work. There's so many hands that lifted up this bucket of success that I just want to make sure, I'm sure I'm forgetting people. The folks like Marshall Klein in my office who did the work daily and who is at so many of these meetings. The rest of City Hall and the budget team that helped pull all of this together, whom we have big expectations for moving forward. And all of you that are paying attention to all of this as well. It's easy to be an advocate knowing that community supports you and that there's political support for the work that we all do and that we've all committed to as public servants. And so thank you all for being here this morning. And thank you most of all, Terry, for applying and your willingness to bring your expertise, your professionalism, your management, and your character to this work where it's so desperately needed. It is so well received. I think civilian oversight is taking a big step forward with you at its side, and we can't wait to see what the future holds, and we can't wait to see how else we may be able to serve you and assist you in defining success for San Francisco. Thank you so much.
So budget will be the operative word for the next couple of months. So I also do need to thank the mayor's budget office, and please, please give us some more money. So now I want to also have a couple of people speak before Terry takes the oath of office. This is Terry Wiley, up close and personal. And first up, we have Yolanda Williams, who's the Executive Director of the Bar Association. Oh, sorry, excuse me, Yolanda Jackson. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, Yolanda Jackson, Executive Director of the Bar Association of San Francisco.
Mr. Wiley, please let me start by saying congratulations for this amazing, amazing honor and accomplishment that you're about to walk into. So it's with immense pride that I'm here to speak today for this swearing in for the City and County of San Francisco's inaugural, very first ever, Inspector General Terry Wiley. Terry and I have been friends for 28 years. I owe my affinity for bar associations, which as you know I now lead one, and my passion for the role that they play in the legal community and the broader community to Terry. Soon after I passed the bar back in 1995, so I think you and I are the same age, Paul. I saw a flyer and signed up to volunteer at a legal clinic at the Allen Temple Baptist Church. Terry was a board member of the Charles Houston Bar Association at the time and was leading that clinic. I was a brand new lawyer, didn't know what I was doing, and Terry was a great mentor that evening and ultimately helped to get me appointed to the Charles Houston Bar Association board. That is who Terry is. He's a good friend. He's an amazing criminal justice lawyer. He's a brilliant community servant. Terry has spent 33 years of his life serving the public. As a deputy district attorney, he spent part of his career pursuing police accountability justice. So fast forward to today. Terry will be the first Inspector General to head the San Francisco Sheriff's Department Office of Inspector General. The IG will receive, review, and investigate complaints at the Sheriff's Department for its employees and contractors. And to be effective in this role, the IG must understand the importance of and be well-versed in the best practices related to police and law enforcement reform. These are critical issues, as Paul just mentioned, and fortunately, practices are changing nationwide, which is long overdue. Use of force, biased policing, racial profiling, etc., are being examined in many law enforcement agencies across the country. This role requires someone who is open-minded, willing to think differently about law enforcement, someone who's a change agent, someone who knows and understands the role of law enforcement, and someone who knows how to come to the table to build consensus in order to solve problems. These issues cannot be solved by one department or one agency. The work requires collaborative efforts. Terry's a people person. He's a collaborator. He's willing to listen, he keeps an open mind, and he's a strategic thinker. At the same time, he knows how to make tough decisions. He understands law enforcement reform, and these are the skills and experience that will make the new office of Inspector General successful and impactful. Our Bar Association of San Francisco has a criminal justice task force where we collaborate with members from nearly every law enforcement agency in the city, criminal defense agencies, oversight agencies, and criminal justice organizations throughout the city. We understand law enforcement accountability and the related thoughtful reform. To the Sheriff's Department Oversight Board, you absolutely made the right decision in selecting Terry Wiley to shape and execute on the work of this new office. Congratulations to you, Terry. Congratulations to you, Sheriff, and congratulations to the City and County of San Francisco.
And now I would like to have the omnipresent, effervescent, the Honorable Mayor Willie Brown.
Thank you very much, and I am really delighted to see so many people here on behalf of saying welcome to the man who called me and said, would you swear me in? I swear at people. I don't swear a lot of people in. But I'm altering my role. I'm going to have the honor of swearing in the first Inspector General of the Sheriff's Department of San Francisco. And as indicated by all of you who've been ahead of me, you know how really important this is. And so, Terry, you want to come up, and you should know that I actually showed up to make sure that it's legal. I went down and had the county clerk swear me in as a deputy county clerk. So if some of you people have problems at the moment, you need a county clerk, I'm here. Terry, you will put your right hand up and you will repeat after me. I, Terry Wiley,
I, Terry Wiley,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
do solemnly swear to defend the Constitution of the State of California and the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and to the Constitution of California,
that I take this obligation
that I take this obligation
freely without any mental reservation
freely without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
then I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
upon which I am about to enter
upon which I'm about to enter
for so long as I serve
for as long as I serve, for so long as I serve,
And you know what you're going to do?
Yes,
What?
I'm going to be a good Inspector General for the city and county of San Francisco.
Come back up here. You got to sign this.
Oh, okay.
She told you you had to sign it.
Okay.
Okay, you can sit down.
Okay.
And then you sign, and I make sure it goes back to the county clerk.
No, I'm taking it back to
Oh,
the-
thank you. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me present San Francisco's inaugural Inspector General, Mr. Terry Wiley.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So let me begin by first acknowledging a few people. I want to acknowledge the Sheriff's Oversight Board Commissioners, specifically President Julie Sue. I cannot tell you how much work that's gone into putting this together, and the work that Julie has, I mean, it's just night and day that, you know, I receive phone calls from Julie because she's putting this whole program together. So Julie, thank you so much for all your efforts. I also want to acknowledge Vice President Carrion and Board Member Proctor, who are here, and all of the members of the Sheriff's Oversight Commission. I appreciate your decision to select me as the first inaugural Inspector General of San Francisco. I also want to acknowledge Paul Henderson. Paul, I've known Paul for a long time, and I'll tell you something. He is as sharp a lawyer as you will find anywhere in California in the United States, and someone that when I went over to the offices where the Inspector General will be located, I had an opportunity to spend some time going over some of the preparations that have been done for my office by Paul and Marshall, and it's just been a tremendous amount of work that they've done in order to tee us up to get ready to do the work that we need to do. So Paul, I really appreciate your work, and I look forward to working with you. I too want to acknowledge Supervisor Shaman Walton, because he was the person that created the legislation that created the office of the Inspector General. So that I want to acknowledge him. I also want to acknowledge my family, my wife Denise, who puts up with me. Yeah. My sister-in-law and family and friends that are also here. And my twin brother was supposed to be here, but he was coming from Livermore, and so I don't know what's up with that. But I have an identical twin brother, and so if you see somebody who's wandering around like he doesn't know where he's going, that's my twin brother. But finally, I want to acknowledge Mayor Willie Brown. Mayor Brown has been someone that in my 33 years, he has been a mentor. He has been someone that anytime I call, Mayor Brown answers the call. So when I called him up and I said, hey, Mayor, I need you to swear me in, I didn't know what kind of response I was going to get, but he's here, so it's all good. But no, Willie has never, Mayor Brown has never said no to me. And so, Willie, I really appreciate it. I also talked to the mayor about the sheriff, and he had nothing but really kind things to say about Sheriff Miyamoto. Me and the sheriff have had a conversation here today. Sheriff, I really look forward to working with you, and I think that we're going to be able to do some really big things in terms of making the San Francisco Sheriff's Department a top office. I'm thrilled and honored to serve as the inaugural Inspector General for the City and County of San Francisco. You know, as we embark on this journey, I am filled with, my enthusiasm knows no bounds. Building a team of talented and professionals is not just a goal, It is a commitment to excellence in service and upholding the values that define the city of San Francisco. You know, our office will stand on the pillars of accountability and open transparency, fairness, integrity, and honesty. I firmly believe that accountability is the linchpin in maintaining the public's trust in criminal justice, in our criminal justice system and the sheriff's office. It is our duty to ensure that every action taken under our watch reflects these values and serves the best interests of the community. The city and county of San Francisco deserves nothing less than an inspector general's office that's guided by the principles of integrity, accountability, open transparency, objectivity, independence, confidentiality, professionalism, and as the leader of the organization, to me, the most important quality is competence. These principles will guide us in every decision and action we take. Under my leadership, we will actively work to ensure that justice is blind and fair to everyone, especially those who have been historically disenfranchised, people of color, women, the LGBTQ community. Our commitment is to create an environment where everyone is treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. As long as we have the necessary resources, we are confident we will not only meet but exceed the expectations placed upon us. I'm excited about the positive impact we can have on the community. I look forward to the challenges and the successes that lie ahead. So let us forge a path that reflects the spirit of San Francisco, a city that values diversity, justice, equity, inclusivity, and the well-being of all its residents. Thank you.
So in closing, I just wanted to thank you all for being here to witness this historic moment. Terry's reputation precedes itself. I got a text message from Nick Gregoratos, who heads our prison legal services here. It's unprecedented that we actually have a prison legal services. So I want to just embrace the Sheriff's Department for doing a lot of right things, and we can only improve, but there's such great foundation. He said he is delighted and anxious to be working with you. And I also want to acknowledge that Ken Lamba is here with the Sheriff's Deputy Union. Ken, I don't know where you, oh, right there. So our oversight mission is very broad. We want to look at individuals and families affected by the criminal justice system, the services availed to those incarcerated, reentry services, support for reentry. But we also want to look at the well-being of our deputies. They are working tremendous hours right now because they are short-staffed. But it's important that we make sure that we look at recruitment and the mental and physical well-being of our deputies. So thank you, everyone, and a special message to, yes? Yes, he forgot to say something. He's going to say one more thing, and I'm going to let him hear before I close up.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, the problem when you have prepared remarks, you just read the prepared remarks, and there are two people here that I didn't know was actually going to make it, and I wanted to acknowledge Alameda County Board of Supervisor member Nate Miley. Nate has always been a big supporter of mine, and I wanted to acknowledge his coming across the Bay, and I appreciate you being here, Nate. And I also want to acknowledge U.S. Attorney Izzy Ramsey, who's always also been a big supporter, and Izzy, thank you for being here. All right.
And I want to recognize Under Sheriff Catherine Johnson, who's been wearing 3 hats and budgeting, everything operations. Thank you for being here. And also Assistant Chief Tanzanika Carter, who keeps us informed of community events to make sure that we're out and visible and taking in information. I also want to finally thank those who got the word out, although I heard the word got out a little sooner than we thought. Carolyn Weisinger with our Police Department of Accountability and Tara Moriarty with the Sheriff's Office. So thank you, and a special word for Terry. Go Bears!